Along the northern coast of Nova Scotia in Cumberland County, we find the community of Malagash, where the main industries are fishing and agriculture. Overlooking the Northumberland Strait, this temperate locale is one of the best areas in Nova Scotia to grow grapes, owing to its long, warm summers and rainy winters. Just off the Sunrise Trail between Pugwash and Tatamagouche, Malagash is picturesque and known around the world for today's subject.
Today we're at Jost Vineyards in Malagash, Nova Scotia, and it's the biggest winery in the province.
We're going to speak with one of the winemakers, one of the co-owners, and learn about their expansive vineyards, their cafe, all the cool stuff that they've got going on that makes it not just a vineyard, but a destination as well.
So my name is Gina Haverstock, and my role at Jost Vineyards is head winemaker. So I lead the winemaking team at Gaspereau Vineyards, but I help head up Jost Vineyards, Mercator Vineyards, and Gaspereau Vineyards winemaking. I started here at the tasting bar at Jost Vineyards early on in my career when I didn't know anything about wine. That's what sparked my interest in wine. Went away, did lots of schooling, and did some work terms in different parts of the world, and then came back to Nova Scotia hoping that there'd be a position opened. At that point, the owner of Jost Vineyards opened Gaspereau Vineyards, and I was able to slide right in after its second year opened as winemaker, so in 2006. Part of the schooling, you need a year's worth of work term placement. So I spent 2 terms, a fall term and a summer term in Germany. And then I spent one of my terms here at Jost Vineyards actually doing sort of miscellaneous placement. So that took me to Germany initially. I spent longer in Germany than I needed to for my work placements. I also spent some time in Burgundy, France, so I got to work a harvest there. I worked a harvest in New Zealand as well, and a summer placement in Austria. So again, that was more for my knowledge. I was trying to hit up some really cool climate areas so that I could hopefully come back to Nova Scotia with some knowledge that was really applicable to our cooler climate here. Depending where you are, but it is definitely more similar than, for instance, say, going to Australia and then trying to bring through some knowledge from Australia in warm areas, super warm areas. So similar, things apply in the vineyard, exposing the fruit for, superior ripening. All those kind of things are on the same spectrum, and they all apply.
My name is Donna Sparkes, and I'm the co-owner of Jost Vineyards. Hans William Jost came from Germany and started I think, dairy farm, beef farm, and soon discovered they came from hundreds of years of winemaking. So they decided to start making wine. And look how it turned out, fabulous. We started Devonian Coast in 2011. We bought Jost and the sister, Gaspereau Vineyards, in 2012. Something unique about Jost is that we are the only winery on the ocean. So if there's frost events, anything like that, we're not really affected by it because we have the warm ocean breezes coming in. Nova Scotia wines are not as well known yet, but I think it's growing thanks to other wineries and us. So we get orders from Nunavut.
Yeah, we've got some really great wines. So aromatic-driven, fruit-forward, terroir-driven whites and rosés. We make some great sparklings in the province of Nova Scotia. We also have some really elegant, food-friendly reds. So we basically can do the full spectrum. Everything starts in the vineyard. So for pruning, we start pruning sometime late in December, and that just means cutting back the vine so that we will have an optimal amount of fruit and optimal amount of foliage, etc. For the vines. So you even start planning winemaking in the vineyard, obviously a little bit. So the vines grow, grapes then grow, they ripen, and then anywhere from this year possibly late September right through till early November, we're harvesting the grapes. And when you harvest grapes, it's not like tomatoes that you could harvest them a little green and then put them aside and let them ripen. We have to deal with the fruit immediately when it comes in. And so that's an extremely busy time. Once the fruit comes in, what we do with it depends on where it's going. So red wine is fermented juice, skins, and seeds, all in an open top type fermenter. And then after fermentation, we actually press the skins and seeds away from the wine. So that's after it's fermented. That's how you make red wine. For white wine, we do all the pressing at the juice stage. So we take the grapes, Sometimes we put them in the press, which is just a big piece of equipment that squeezes out the juice. We collect the juice, and whether we put whole clusters in or destemmed fruit in, it all depends. But we press out the juice, we settle the juice in a tank, and then we move it to another tank for fermentation. And that also happens with rosés. So rosés are usually made from the juice of red grapes. So we whole cluster press red grapes, and then you get a lighter juice with less tannin, and then we ferment it like a white wine, so cool and cool and with a certain type of yeast. As you probably can imagine, winemaking is very cyclical. You can be busy, year round, but you have these times that are super busy and times that are a little less busy, let's say. When we're not physically making wine in this sort of 6-week period of harvest, there's always blends to come up with, new wines to make. Right now it's all planning leading up to harvest, because you have to have all the right yeast, you have to be ready, your equipment has to be ready, so that all happens prior to harvest. During harvest, you're just making the wine and trying to make the best decisions to make the best wine. And then afterwards, you're blending and getting ready for bottling. So generally from a early September, late August time frame until March, April, that's when the intensity of all those things go through. And then there's focus on, marketing wise and a winemaker. So, you talk about the wine, you do events, those kind of things. That side of it has been a little changed with COVID, of course, this year. But yeah, there's that opportunity, and then it all happens again. Yeah.
I think the whole winery is a destination because we have hiking trails through the vineyards, we have picnic tables. You can get your lunch to go and take a little can of Luvo and go up and hike for an hour and just sit and look out at PEI from the vineyard. I love seeing the people enjoying the wine, the winery, and the experience when they come here, and you see people going through the vineyards and just can't believe how beautiful it is. Our chef, Wally Vaders, is amazing. We have lobster sliders, and and this year we have a tent, so everything is outside, so all the service is outside, and it works really well. Everybody is enjoying it. Food is awesome. We have had events. This year has been a little different. We can only have a certain number of people. They have to have their masks on when they move from their tables, but we've had Signal Hill here on Saturday, and it was great. And people just want to get out and enjoy some live music, and it's outdoors, so we don't have that to worry about, but it's a little different this year.
I think everything about quality comes down to, well, starting with quality fruit, but second, and I think most importantly, balance. You can have a wine that has a higher acidity, but if you have that balanced with great aromatics and a little bit of sweetness, it's in balance and it's great. You can have one with lower acidity, a wine with lower acidity that has great fruit and rounded alcohol, and that's great. So it's all about the balance. If something's, if the alcohol's too high and the fruit is too low, like the aromatic component is too low, then it's not in balance. So I think quality can be measured simply by, good fruit in the beginning, but then balance. I'm here representing a huge team. We've had people here that have worked with us for, 30 years and plus, and have been making this ship tick. So it always takes a lot of team. I'm happy to represent the team, but I'm also happy to, take the hats off for the team, because without the team, we wouldn't be doing anything here. So.
Before today, we didn't really know much about wine, so it was really cool to talk to a winemaker and learn a bit about how it's made.
If you're coming to Nova Scotia and you're driving along the coast, it's worth swinging through Malagash to stop by Jost Vineyards. You can go hiking through the vineyards themselves, you can sample some product, or even grab a bite to eat at the cafe. We'll see you next time.